Hi, this is Chapter 1 of The Spark the Boy. Chapter 1 The Girl. We were young, unknowing of what was coming. I was running scared for my life. I had been plunged into this battle accidentally. I always carried my knife with me. It was my multi-tool, the tool I used in my mechanics class. I was glad that I had it with me now. I had been able to easily get out of the school by breaking a few windows. Before this all happened, I was just enjoying my day at school when the invaders' alarm sounded. This alarm had never gone off before, but we still did practice drills for it. I was a student body officer, so I was rarely in class. I was usually wandering the halls and getting kids back to class. I loved being someone who could help my fellow peers, or teachers, I should say. When I was little, I decided I wanted to help others, no matter the cost. I personally didn't think I was spoiled. After all, I had grown up bouncing in between foster homes. My parents could never take care of me, and lots of times during my childhood they were taken away from me. Child Protective Services had found me in our old, burned-down house and saved me. The house fire had started when my mom had dropped a cigarette butt that was still smoldering. I still vividly remember seeing her scorched body as she dragged me and my little sister out of the smoke. She had tried so hard to stop smoking, but she never could get off it. My father had abused my mother and took everything in the divorce, leaving my mom to raise the two of us while battling depression and lung cancer. It took CPS forever to pry me from my mom, but even she agreed that she couldn't give me the life that I deserved. I was sad. I didn't have anything to do but think about the family I had lost. It helped me be more involved in my school, since I had nothing better to do. I had decided that I didn't want to think about my mom anymore. For all I knew, she was dead. I had run away from home the year previous, and no one had come looking for me. They didn't deserve me anyway. None of the teachers ever tried to stop me. I had a good reputation, my grades were good, and I was known for being one of the best kids in the school. I was the definition of a guy that was considered a nerd, but I was actually decently good looking, or at least that's what I thought. And I'm sure plenty of good sorry. And I'm sure plenty of girls would agree. Classroom doors began to close, and I heard the teachers locking them. It was quite a dumb thing. If these invaders really wanted to kill us, they would just break down the doors. It seemed almost pointless to me. Instead of hiding with the rest of the school, I ran into the forest, not knowing where the battle was. It was almost like I plunged into a fantasy world. There were screams that I could hear from the opening of the forest, blood-curdling screams of pain and torture. I climbed a tree to catch my breath. I gazed around at all the bodies on the ground, unrecognizable, bloody, lifeless. The previously green grass was now a dark brown stained red, covered in puddles of blood. It was quite a jarring sight because just minutes ago they had been alive, not a worry or care in the world. Some of them looked to be around my age. They had so much life left to live, but they had been killed by the invaders. They had probably been thrown into this world just like me, but they had gotten unlucky. Then I heard a girl scream, her hair in two braids. She was fast, running from a massive horde of invaders. Then she tripped. I saw her surrounded by enemies in black masks. I want to save her. I jumped down, breaking into a run, determined to help her. I had already seen so many teenagers' bodies on the ground. I didn't want to see another one. And besides, she was hot. When I got to her, I see that she's very hurt. And badly. The enemies had spiked whips, dagger sharp and rigid. The girl had around 20 spiked weapons in her body at once. She was ripping them out as fast as she could. She had wounds the size of her entire leg. She was bleeding. But she seemed more worried about what was coming out of the weapons. The spikes were releasing a green liquid. It was almost gelatinous. It looked very unnatural, and maybe a little bit evil. It boiled, and it almost looked like it was breathing. It was a creature, a living animal. No, I wouldn't even consider it an animal. It was an evil thing. There was no better way to describe it. She was being beaten to death. She passed out, overcome by the pain and torment. The men continued to beat her with their spike whips, and all I did was sit there and watch. That's part 1 of Chapter 1, The Girl, from The Spark the Boy. A book written by me, Lillian Moore.